Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have my boyfriend, his name is Brendan, who's going to be joining me today. I really wanted to include him in this video because we're going to be talking about what you should know about getting a puppy, and we got our puppy together, so I figured just more information the better. So we're going to talk about our experience and some things that you should know before you go and get your own puppy. So before we get started, don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well as Cora's Instagram. She is our puppy. If you want to see what she gets up to during the day and all the things that she's doing, all the funny things she's doing actually, then be sure to follow her on Instagram. So let's get started with the video. All right, so the most important thing that I think you should know about when you get a puppy is that it's gonna come with a lot of sleepless nights. We picked her up and we got home super late, so we decided to keep her on the couch with us on our first night. And it was very challenging. I would say we were up every few hours taking her to the washroom, making sure she wasn't getting into anything, and it was definitely very hard.
Yeah, a lot of dogs are afraid of their first house after leaving their mother. But Cora got used to the house really quickly, almost too quickly, and she was getting into everything almost right away.
Yeah, that's very true. So in terms of sleeping, I would say before you get your puppy, make sure you are all caught up on that, because the first week especially, it's going to be very hard. Our second week I wouldn't say was as challenging as the first week, but we definitely did have some sleepless nights again. One thing that some of my friends did recommend was to have some time off during the first 2 weeks. Luckily for me, I was off during those 2 weeks, so I was able to kind of catch up on some sleep during the day when she was napping. Brendan, on the other hand, was working during that time, so I don't know how that was for you.
It wasn't bad. She sleeps a lot during the day. It's just every once in a while I'd have to tell people I was on meetings with that I might be fidgeting because there's a puppy biting my ankles, but it's okay.
Yeah. But if you can get those 2 weeks off when you first get the puppy, I would highly recommend. That way you're able to kind of focus on the puppy, catch up on your sleep, and then just try to set a routine and a schedule for yourself and your puppy. So another thing that you should know about when you get a puppy is that they can be quite expensive. Prior to getting Cora a corgi, we did our research and we did know that because of their short legs that they do tend to have a lot of health problems, because they can break a hip or a leg or something. So for us, we actually got health insurance just to subsidize the cost in the event that something were to happen to her in our first year. So that is a monthly cost that we incur, which adds to the general expensiveness of getting a puppy. On top of that, I find that literally every day, especially this week, I've been going out and getting her new toys and new treats and food. Like, I feel like she goes through her food pretty quickly. What do you think?
Yeah, she eats a lot. And she eats a lot of random things too. Right now she's eating a carrot. She's enjoying.
Yeah, so they are quite expensive. The reason why I would say I was spending quite a bit of money this week in getting her new toys is because I find that she's kind of bored with the ones that she has, and also she needs to be stimulated and be preoccupied, so that it comes with a lot of brain games, I think it's called, and puzzles. So just like activities and not just your standard squeaky toy, she needs to be challenged. So those kind of add up, and I've been kind of getting more difficult toys for her, just to keep her more busy and preoccupied, so that she doesn't get bored when we're at work and start biting us or start distracting us.
And it's a lot of experimenting with what toys she likes at first too. There are a lot of things that we got her that she has no interest in at all. But when something actually piques her interest, it keeps her occupied for a while and tires her out a lot, so it's very valuable.
Another thing with puppies is that they grow super fast. I remember bringing her home and she was as quiet as a mouse. She was definitely getting into things, but she wasn't barking. When she found her bark, she really found her bark.
And with her growing up so fast, she's kind of expanding her territory in our house a little bit. At first it was mostly just in the playpen and kind of around the couch area. Now she's really trying to get into the bathroom and our bedroom, and we usually keep those doors locked. So she's She's definitely trying to branch out a little bit more and take up more space.
Yeah, for sure. But I think although she wants to try to get to those areas, it's really important that we kind of keep her out of them, just because we don't want to give her too much too soon. We kind of want to like reel it in and let her, or introduce her to things slowly and gradually. We tried to introduce her to our bed and that didn't turn out too well. She ended up peeing on our mattress, and then from there we realized that maybe this isn't the right time to let her explore our bedroom. Especially too because we do have stuff underneath our bed. I don't want her to get caught in it or to pee on that as well too. So we're just going to keep her out of those areas for now until we fully potty train her and we trust that she's not going to get into anything. I would say she's definitely comfortable in our living room space. We kind of let her explore here and we let her sleep here freely. But until she shows us that she's 100% good to go, we're going to keep her out of certain areas of our apartment. So prior to getting Cora, a lot of my friends that had puppies had suggested that it was really important to do the crate training, and I was very adamant that I was going to get her crate trained and it was going to be such an easy process, but when we got her, it ended up being a very tough process. She was whining and she was crying, and I was very worried about her being loud and our neighbors hearing. So I would say that she isn't crate trained. What we do is we have an open door, policy with the crate. We keep it open, we have it attached to the pen, and we have it as a space for her to go in and out as she pleases.
Yeah, she sleeps a lot of nights in the crate, kind of without us putting her there. She just enjoys the space, kind of getting away from everything to relax there.
Yeah, but we definitely don't force her to do that or to force her to go in there, just because for us, where's the carrot?
It's by her.
So we definitely don't force her to go into the crate, just because we want her to see it as a space that she's comfortable in and that it's not as punishment. It's more of like an apartment for her. What we do is we give her all of her food and water in the crate, and then any sort of new toys or activities that we're introducing to her, we will also introduce it to her in her crate so that she sees it as a positive space. But for us and for her and her crying and whining, we didn't lock her in there and we didn't 100% fully crate train her. So what I will say is that with crate training, just do what you think is best for yourself as well as your puppy. I know for us, I know for myself, I was I definitely wanted her to be crate trained, but it just didn't work out that way. So just keep that in mind, that crate training is very hard and that it may or may not work for you. One thing that I definitely didn't expect, I don't know about you've had dogs, so you might have been a little bit more familiar with this, but I didn't really realize how much of your own free time and personal time that you have to give up when you get a puppy. I definitely knew that getting her in the beginning would require a lot of attention to her, and a lot of me being at home. Maybe that's just me being super naive, but I just did not realize how much of your free time that you lose. So just keep that in mind when you get a puppy.
Yeah, you kind of have to adjust your schedule around her as much as she has to adjust her life around you. So it's just figuring things out together.
But yeah, I did not think like that at all. I was just I'm gonna get a puppy and that's that. I didn't realize that, my walks around the block or me going to the mall casually or whenever I want would have to stop because I'd have to consider her and also him too, because it wouldn't be fair to stick him with the dog for 8 hours while I just go out and do my own thing. So just keep that in mind that it will take up a little bit more of your free time. So if you've been watching my moving series or some of the other videos that I've recently uploaded, you would have known that we recently moved into this apartment because we wanted to get a puppy or a dog.
I think we would have shopped around for apartments longer, knowing the specific things that a pet really needs or a dog really needs. Things like some good green space to run around in, neighbors that won't complain about barking, and just easy access to get her outside quickly, especially for potty training.
Yeah, that's 100%. Right now we live in a high rise where we rely on an elevator unless we want to go down several flights of stairs with her in our hand, which we really don't want to do. So I think what I wish we would have done is kind of like Brendan had said, is maybe shopped around for either like a low rise or maybe like a house or something, just so that we don't have to take an elevator down, we're not so close to our neighbors, and that there is like ample amount of green space for her, just because it's kind of challenging at times. So I would just say consider your space, and just make sure that it's applicable for yourself as well as the dog's needs as well too.
Being in the city, taking her for walks, it can get pretty challenging because there's so many distractions. You know, there's cars driving by, there's people walking, other dogs. So it is a little bit more challenging, especially with a high energy dog, to keep her attention during walks and kind of keep her focused, especially puppy.
Yeah. So she's been right in front of us this whole time, eating her carrot, but I'm gonna close out the video with her. This is Pecora. So I'm gonna close out the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're gonna get a puppy, I hope these tips help you out. I think if I had known these things, it might have made my experience a little bit different. Nonetheless, I'm very happy with Pecora. I love her. I can't picture my life without her, even when she is biting my ankles to death. So thank you for watching this video, and we will see you next time. Bye.